Every sport has a clear ultimate objective of winning. But in every sport, we keep a record of so many other things besides and beneath winning. Stats. And sometimes when the ultimate objective is no longer in play, like when a game or a season has already been decided, or it just doesn't matter anymore, we focus instead on the stats. And sometimes, if a statistical record sits within reach, a game that was once focused on that objective of winning starts to look very different and very bizarre. And that's what's happening in this picture. This is a picture of opening night of the 24-25 season between the Celtics and Knicks. It is garbage time, as you can tell by the fact that the Knicks have 3 rookies on the floor.
I don't know who these guys are.
That's Tyler Kolek, Ariel Hukporti, and Pakhom Dadie, all playing their first ever NBA game.
Good for them.
It's garbage time. Peyton Pritchard is a bench player for the Celtics. He's shooting a wide open 3.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a minute and a half left, I think you can see in the corner. The defense doesn't look particularly good. It's a wide open 3.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, look at the crowd.
Everyone's fucking into it.
Yeah, even Henry Louis Gates down
Henry
here
Louis Gates is
like
captivated.
up on his feet, captivated. And Kai Cenat.
Other people have their phones out. During this game, with about 8 or 9 minutes left, the Celtics tied the NBA record for most three-pointers ever hit in a game.
Right. Okay. Insane.
So they spent the next 8 or 9 minutes attempting to beat the record for most three-pointers ever hit in a game. And this is Peyton Pritchard taking one of those attempts. Doesn't go in. Over the course of the final 8 or so minutes of the game, they missed 12 in a row.
Oh,
so the Celtics, to be clear, failed to break the NBA record for three-pointers in a game. They did not hit 30. They only hit 29.
They matched a record.
And failed to break it.
Which if they had done that, and that was the night, success.
Right. If number 29 came late in the game.
You're now in the record books.
We tied
5
it.
seconds left. We matched the record and we won the game.
Yes.
The fact that this played out how it did, failure.
The fact that this played out how it did is almost what created the failure. Because, and I can tell you, I watched this whole game. I am ashamed to admit, looking at this picture, a very big Knicks fan, and this was opening night. And when I watched
But you only watch for Dolan.
Yeah. And he wasn't even there. So the Celtics achieved their feat of 29 three-pointers in like 40 minutes by playing the most elegant, effective offense I have genuinely ever seen in my life. They played beautiful, high assist, free-flowing, screening, intelligent basketball.
Offense that would win you a championship.
Offense that, would win you a championship. This was ring night. And that got them to 29 threes. And then the thought entered their heads of, oh, we almost have a record.
While we're here.
And the game was decided, so they didn't really have to play particularly effectively. And then they just played idiot basketball. It was just heaving threes. All of that flow was gone. All of the sharing and all of the camaraderie out the window.
That has got to feel really good because it's a little bit like, even though you keep using the word that they failed, Will, but I think they didn't go into game 1 looking to break the NBA record for threes. They just found themselves in that place to do that. So it becomes almost like a bonus round. It's like a side quest. Or like when you're playing Metal Gear Solid and they're like, great job, you successfully extracted the hostage. See if you can find the other 5 gold bars that went missing before you leave. It's
Someone is whispering that in Peyton Pritchard's ear right now. I do think like you describe that as fun, and it's fun, but also like that creates a weird amount of pressure that you would usually associate with like a playoff game where like Peyton Pritchard is taking this shot with the weight of knowing that if he hits it, he will make history and the whole crowd will go nuts and it'll be a momentous thing and people will be watching this highlight forever. And I think that's why you missed 12 in a row is because they all come with that.
They're all trying to be the answer to a trivia question.
Exactly.
I could see that argument if we were talking about like a home run record where people are showing up to the stadium and being like, tonight's the night we're going to see it, or like every game it doesn't happen. Then the next game, there's a little bit more pressure of like, tonight's the night it's going to happen. Whereas they walked into TD Garden being like, let's just open up the season strong, and then found themselves in the third quarter being like, oh shit, we could do this. Maybe we should. Is that really like pressure?
Not a perfect equivalent, but this is almost like if you're at a bowling alley and someone is like on their way to bowling a 300, and then you watch them succeed in bowling a 300, but then the screen's like, here's some more frames. Can you keep it up? Can you keep going? And it's like, well, I achieved the thing I was trying to do, which is hard to do. It's hard to win a basketball game. It's hard to have it in hand with 9 minutes to play.
Side quest.
Yeah, side quest. For this to be like a coordinated team effort, at some point, someone had to be like, we've won the game, fuck it mode. Someone had to explicitly lay out the game plan, right?
I just know it wasn't the coach. Like, it was not Joe Mazzulla telling them, hey guys, you have 29 3-pointers. Let's try and break the record. Because Joe Mazzulla is not on that sideline talking about normal stuff. He's quoting the town.
Yeah, I don't know.
The man is intense. He has a sort of military, quasi-religious presence on the sideline.
Okay.
He says really goth stuff.
So if not him, then someone at some point had to step up on the sideline and be like, we need to go for this right now.
I think it's an assistant. I think it's an assistant or like an injured player. Like Kristaps Porzingis is there in the suit.
Yeah.
And I think he's got, they get the score sheets printed out. And
You're talking about Lurch?
Yeah.
Fucking Lurch.
He's a tall fella.
Y'all ran.
And he was like,
Lurch
hey guys, I don't know if you guys have seen this box score, but you guys are about to make history if you just keep shooting those threes. The final 3 minutes of the game passed without the Celtics attempting a 2-pointer.
Yeah, okay. Like, because there was such intentionality, that is why it feels like a failure in my mind. If it was like, we matched the record, we want to rest our starters, and we're just going to like play the clock. We're going to control the ball. We'll take an easy shot if it's there.
Yeah. Then they would have broken the record. I'm serious. Like, this is like when you think about breathing too much and it starts to get a little awkward. The Celtics playing like the Celtics and running their sets and playing Celtics basketball that won them a championship generate a ton of threes. It's not an accident that this team did this. What changed is that they stopped playing Celtics basketball and just started jacking up threes like a bad team. I honestly think if what you described happened and they just played regular old garbage time ball, they would have broken the record.
There's no reason to have pressure in this moment, yet
they
piled on pressure.
Right.
Exactly. What this has been making me wonder is if this is the best example of this phenomenon, of someone matching a record very quickly, like on pace to just blow the record away, but failing to actually break the record in that sort of surplus of time they've been given. And obviously, there's only one person to ask about this.
With the Celtics in their season opener able to tie but not break the NBA record for most three-pointers in a game, it harkens back to the 2019 Minnesota Baseball Twins, who entered game 162 but a mere 16 total bases shy of matching the single-season record of 2,832 set 16 years earlier by the Red Sox. Looked like a lock when they got 9 of the 16 in the first inning, and they recorded their 16th total base of the game by the 6th inning to match the 0-3 Bo Sox. All they needed was a single in any of the final 3 innings to pass them, and they couldn't. With 3 homers in the game, however, they did edge by 1 the Yanks from the season prior for the single-season record in that department, only for the Braves to do 4 years later to them with homers what they'd themselves done with total bases.
I guess the thing that has me thinking about is when in 2024, Ravens-Bills, Derrick Henry was at 196 rushing yards. He had already matched, so he would have set the record for most 200-yard rushing games in a career. He's at 196. They give him the ball, picks up 1. Give him the ball again, he picks up 2. Third down, they get him the ball, picks up 1 more yard, but it was a reception.
Oh,
so is he like dipping his toe over the line of scrimmage and be like, nope? That's like if Peyton Pritchard is pump faking here. If he's like,
sure,
no, you know what, this isn't the one. And everyone's like, fucking shoot the ball.
Because like in my mind, it's like it's the coaches being like, we're gonna keep you in the game plan. You're still in the game. We have other backs who could do this, who are younger, and we don't need to worry about injury risk or whatever like that. But we're going to throw you the ball instead of hand it off to you one more time to pick up a yard. Like Derrick Henry can just take a handoff in the backfield, fall forward, pick up a yard, and be at 200.
It's tough when it's an individual thing. That is the nice thing about the Celtics situation, is that the whole team gets to participate and the entire weight of the experience isn't placed on one single person. You know, like they can share the blame in a way that makes it like, don't worry about it. Instead of like, damn, bro, you missed 8 threes at the end of the game all in a row when you could have set the single game record. To be fair, that is the J.R. Smith experience on the Knicks, is him gunning for a record by himself.
Once the Knicks figured out what was going on, do you think there was a moment where they were sort of the villain, the inverse of this, where they were like, fuck, we lost this game, but we have got to keep them from getting this this record? Apparently not.
No. They continued to play poor defense.
It looks like they're doing like a substitution on the fly off the bench with the guy in the left
Tyler
running
Kolek,
on. Where are you going, bud?
Looks like he is a streaker. Looks like he just ran onto the court.
The defense had been playing so poorly, he's trying a different stealth approach. He's not going to see me coming up on him.
God, you're making me realize what would be the Knicks' best option here is to just foul intentionally every time down.
Oh,
don't let them.
That's
don't
really good.
Forget defending the threes because clearly that wasn't working for them.
Yeah, if the game is over, just go
Just
full
foul.
Fucking.
Yeah. You get nothing. We will let you score as many points as you want, but not that way.
But what if you accidentally then let them set a record for most free throw attempts?
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of our new show, REFRAME. All these names you're seeing on screen right now are people who subscribe to Secret Base's Patreon, which means they got to see some early unpublished versions of this new show. And, so much other stuff that you won't find on YouTube. Why don't you join them?